London nightlife is changing at an alarming rate. New data from the Home Office shows that 2/3 of 24-hour venues have closed since 2022. Brixton is one of those communities trying to change the narrative and bring back its after-hours crowd. I spoke to multiple people and businesses about what can be done to solve this.
The Brixton Business Improvement District is an organisation that is fully funded and led by local businesses. We represent around 560, 570 paying members. So we cover different aspects to anything to do with Brixton. So anything to do with safety, cleaning, marketing, events. But obviously our nighttime economy plays a major part in the work that we do. So we have different initiatives. So for example, we have the nighttime forum where our venues meet on a regular basis. And we also run a nighttime briefing. So every other Friday, our venues actually met with ourselves, but also representatives from the Met Police and the licensing team from Lambeth Council to ensure that anything that is relevant to know about any issues, whether it's safety, licensing, or any kind of big events, are being covered. Brixton Nightlife has been going through some challenging times, some major national trends that obviously are affecting the industry as a whole. We have to almost like think that COVID is being part of that, but is not any longer the key reason why the nighttime economy is being negatively affected. I think there's been a major cost of living crisis that everybody's obviously has been affected by, which also implies a cost of trading crisis, with a lot of the running costs for businesses being pushed up, obviously. Time spent together socializing has changed, so there is a stronger focus on the food offers instead of drinks offered, basically. People are after more experiential time with their friends, so there's been a number of trends, if you like, that are going on probably at global level, national level. One of the role that we want to play as an organization that is representing Brixton and working with the Brixton venues is to very much coordinating the wider destination as a place. So we care about obviously people coming to Brixton and having a good time, and is to ensure that all our venues and operators have access to information. For us it's very important that the nighttime economy is celebrated and supported at a time of challenges.
I guess a lot of people have a bad opinion on Brixton. I mean, I remember back in the day it used to be pretty wild, to say the least. I'm not saying that everything's gone now. I think you still have a little bit of crime that needs to be dealt with regarding pickpocketing and stuff like that. It's still quite rife in Brixton. I know the police are dealing with that. They know what's going on, and that's probably one of the bigger issues that Brixton needs. Other than that, people need to come here in Brixton and feel safe and know they're going to have a good time. They're not going to be harassed. Daytime is more local people doing their shopping, stopping off for a coffee, meeting up with friends. So it's a little bit different. Whereas nighttime is people literally come to Brixton to enjoy the culture, the vibe that Brixton has. It's very unique, a very special place. Probably for me, the best place in the whole of London and the UK. Nighttime, you've got the Brixton Academy here, which is open, That was another downturn for the local economy in Brixton being closed. Then we have the war in Ukraine, which is probably the worst thing that's happened, because Brexit didn't really affect people as like the nighttime or the daytime economy, because it wasn't really affecting their pockets. COVID was another story, but with the war became when the sanctions were in place, which caused all the energy, everything just went skyrocketing.
John, Luca and Mario have highlighted the challenges and changes facing Brixton nightlife. Let's now hear from Ellie Foster from the Satay Bar, who is navigating these pressures firsthand.
We are what you call old school Brixton, in the sense that we have been here longer than gentrification has been a thing in Brixton. A lot of our clientele are what we call legacy customers. We're very lucky to have those legacy clients because, if you will see, going up and down this road currently, there's quite a lot of empty spaces for restaurants and bars which have turned up in recent years and closed already because the climate is quite harsh for the hospitality business in general.
You mentioned before the gentrification of Brixton. How have you seen that evolve over the last few years?
I would say that it started maybe 10, 15 years ago. There was a whole period where it was quite exciting because there was lots of new people coming to Brixton, an opportunity to sell our products to different people. But then, of course, that brought along, higher rents and pushed lots of people out. So that was very difficult for a long time. And then, like all bubbles, it burst. It burst first of all through COVID, and then I think later in recent years because people's habits have changed somewhat. The cost of living crisis has meant that there's not enough spare cash to be going out of an evening all the time. The fact that the food that we buy in order to create our great dishes and sell is now so expensive that we've had to raise prices somewhat, and that makes it quite unaffordable for quite a lot of people, I think.
I think the government has been at fault for harming hospitality and not understanding who we employ and how many people are employed in the industry. So a restaurant going down, or locally where there's been a lot of restaurants and bars very recently going down, means that it's not just a business. These are local people who no longer have jobs. There's bringing instability to the high street itself. Many closures mean that it feels more negative. People aren't as happy in the space that they live and work in. So why hospitality pays VAT at such an excessive degree when you're consuming things, you're not keeping them. So essentially all our profits are simply going to the government.
So what can they do? Well, personally, whilst I agree with all of the new legislation that the government are going to bring in regarding minimum wage, etc., I think there are certainly bigger companies and bigger fish to fry where they could gain a lot of extra taxation rather than the burden being placed on smaller independent business.